Good morning everyone. Myself Dr. Devangi Dwivedi. Today I am going to tell you about adenomatoid odontogenic tumor, squamous odontogenic tumor and calcifying epithelial odontogenic tumor. First let's take up adenomatoid odontogenic tumor. So AOT is a relatively uncommon distinct odontogenic neoplasm that was first described by Steensland in 1900. The AOT represents 3% to 7% of all odontogenic tumors, and more than 750 examples have been reported in the literature. Although this lesion was formerly considered to be a variant of the ameloblastoma and was designated as adenoameloblastoma, its clinical features and biologic behavior indicate that it is a separate entity. Coming to the etiology, although there is evidence that the tumor cells are derived from enamel organ epithelium, investigators have also suggested that the lesion arises from remnants of dental lamina. Clinical features: AOT are limited to younger patients and 2/3 of all cases are diagnosed when patients are 10 to 19 years of age. This tumor is definitely uncommon in a patient older than 30 years of age. It has a striking tendency to occur in the interior portion of the jaw and is found twice as often in the maxilla as in the mandible. Females are affected about twice as often as males. Most AOT tumors are relatively small and they seldom exceed 3 cm in greatest diameter. Peripheral or extraosseous forms of the tumor are rare. These usually appear as small sessile masses on the facial gingiva of the maxilla. Clinically, these lesions cannot be differentiated from the common gingival fibrous lesions. AOT are frequently asymptomatic and are discovered during the course of a routine radiographic examination or when films are made to determine why a tooth has not erupted. Larger lesions cause a painless expansion of the bone. Here you can see a clinical photo for AOT. Next, coming to the classification. Can be a central tumor or a peripheral tumor. Under central tumor, we have follicular type and extrafollicular type. Follicular type associated with the crown of an embedded tooth, 73% of all central type. Extrafollicular type, those with no embedded tooth. Coming to the radiographic features, in about 75% of cases, the tumor appears as a circumscribed unilocular radiolucency that involves the crown of an unerupted tooth, most often a canine. This follicular type of AOT may be impossible to differentiate radiographically from the more common dentigerous cyst. The radiolucency associated with the follicle type of AOT sometimes extends apically along the root past the CAJ. This feature may help to distinguish an AOT from a dentigerous. Less often, the AOT is a well-delineated unilocular radiolucency that is not related to an unerupted tooth but rather is located between the roots of erupted teeth. That is the extrafollicular type. The lesion may appear completely radiolucent. Often, however, it contains fine snowflakes calcifications. This is another feature which may be helpful in differentiating the AOT from a dentigerous cyst. Here you can see a radiographic photo for adenomatoid odontogenic tumor. This one too. Now coming to the histopathology. Small, well-defined and encapsulated, seen as a proliferation of polyhedral and spindle-shaped epithelial cells. The cells arranged in strands, rosettes or duct-like areas. Therefore, the name adenomatoid is given. In duct-like areas, columnar cells are seen. The lumina of these duct-like structure contain eosinophilic coagulum. Here you can see the microscopic photo. This one too. Here all you can see. Next, coming to the differential diagnosis. When it is radiolucent, we can go for dentigerous cyst. If radio opacities are seen, we can go for ameloblastoma, ameloblastic fibroma, ameloblastic fibrodontoma, COC, odontogenic fibroma or maxoma. Lastly, coming to the treatment, conservative surgical excision is adequate since the tumor is not locally invasive, well encapsulated, separated easily from the bone. Recurrence rate is very low, that is 0.2. Next, I'll tell you about squamous odontogenic tumor. So, SOT is a rare, benign but locally infiltrative epithelial tumor that consists of islands of well-differentiated squamous epithelium in a fibrous stroma. It was first described in 1975 by Pullen et al. Etiology derives from epithelial rests of Melissus located in PDL. Coming to the clinical features, seen in 8 to 74 years pupil of age. The mean age is 38. Mandible and maxilla are both affected, but in maxilla more aggressiveness is seen. Both female and male are affected. Painless, painful swelling associated with mobility of associated tooth. Under radiographic features, not specific, triangular radiolucent defect lateral to roots of tooth, ill-defined borders. Here you can see the radiographic photo for SOT. Next, coming to the microscopic features, varying shaped islands of bland appearing squamous epithelium in mature fibrous connective tissue is seen. Peripheral cells don't show the polarization seen in ameloblastoma. Small microcysts within epithelial islands are seen. Here you can see the microscopic photo. For differential diagnosis, lateral periodontal cyst and ameloblastoma, acanthomatous type. Treatment, conservative surgical excision is done. Lastly, coming to COT, that is calcifying epithelial odontogenic tumor, which is also referred to as Pinborg tumor. It is a uncommon odontogenic tumor. It was first described by Pinborg in 1958. It is sometimes mistaken for poorly differentiated squamous cell carcinoma. Origin is from the DL cells. Clinical features, less than 2% of all odontogenic tumors can be seen in both within jaws and soft tissues. The age range is between 30 to 50 years. Mandible is more commonly affected. In the mandible molar ramus area involvement is seen, present as a slow growing painless swelling. Coming to the microscopic features, sheath strands of large pleomorphic polygonal to ovoid epithelial cells in a fibrous connective tissue stroma are seen. There is variation in nuclear size may be evident. Intercellular bridges are seen. Multinucleated giant cells are rarely seen. Mitotic figures are also evident. Large deposit of ECM stain positive for amyloid with Congo red are seen. That was all. Thank you.